JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. I've just realized that my microphone was off. So, guys, welcome to JFD Traders Espresso. Yep, welcome. Today's the 19th of November, 2020. So, yep, guys, a quick apology for the switched off microphone. But basically, as always, guys, in this session, we're gonna have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, basically quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So you feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So jumping into the charts, guys, very quickly now. The first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei, Nikkei 225. So we are having this nice correction to the downside, so that's all fine. I've talked a lot about this this index this week and last week, and basically after finding good resistance near the 26,017 territory, which, by the way, just a quick reminder, is the highest point of June of 1991, guys. My target remains this 27,251, but however, I'll consider that area if we get a good rebound somewhere from around here, from this 26,254 territory, and that level is, by the way, let me just jump back into a monthly chart. That level is this one right here, guys. This highest point of November, or actually is it as the highest point of October? Yep, October of 1991, guys. So the highest point of October, if it provides a good area of support, then we might see a nice rebound and a push higher. However, if this area gets broken and we see the price sliding further below the 21-day EMA here, then maybe we'll start looking at some lower areas. But at the moment, still the whole outlook remains positive, although we're seeing this little correction here to the downside. So if this area here, this 25,254.50 territory, if it provides good support, then we can see a nice rebound and a push higher. But if you're a little bit more on the cautious side, wait for a push above this 26,017 territory, or near this high of the current highest point of November, which is, by the way, near the let me just put this one on the chart, near the 26,057 zone. So again, keep your eyes on these two levels. Now Shanghai Composite, so pushing higher nicely. It's in positive territory so far, because we still have around 55 minutes left, I think, of trading here. But as I mentioned to you guys previously, that in order to consider some higher levels again, we would need to see at least a push above this 3,368 territory. We could see a nice kind of push then higher, for more, let's say, more buyers could join in. However, we still have this little obstacle on the way, the current highest point of November near the 3,387 mark, and but if that gets cleared, then this index would confirm a forthcoming higher high. And yep, higher levels here could be met, but I'm not going to target way too much here to the upside. I'm going to aim only for the upper bound of the this little range here that we're currently stuck in. In terms of the downside, well, it's a little bit tricky here because we still have this, oh, not this, oh, wrong, there we go. So we have this upside support line, but if the price somehow manages to drop below the this 3,326 territory and the 21-day EMA, then yep, we'll aim for this upside support line initially, and then we'll take it from there, because if that gets broken, then yep, further declines could be possible. The German DAX, quick update here, not much is happening. I mean, the same analysis remains. we need to wait for at least a pop-up of the 13,300 level in order to aim for some higher levels, because yes, on one hand we do have ourselves a nice potential bullish flag here. On the other hand, we do have an, let's say, overextended in the short run, overextended index to the upside here, so maybe a bit of a corrective move here lower could be possible, but I'll consider that idea if we get at least a drop below the 13,000 mark. If we don't, and if we kind of continue staying here, then I'm going to remain neutral. Still, of course, the more comfortable level for me here is the a move back below this downside line taken from the high of the 3rd of September. But again, like I said, I'll start looking at some lower levels if we get already a drop below the 13,000 mark. Now, jumping into DXY, another index, but this one is a dollar index. So yes, we had a nice pop here, not a pop, but a move higher. However, it still struggled with this hurdle, this 92.61 zone. I talked about this, and basically what I was saying previously, that of course the more comfortable level for me to consider the upside would be from around here somewhere near the 93.20, but if we get a move above this 92.61 zone, then maybe we could squeeze something out of this one, and aim for the 21-day EMA initially, because we need to be very careful with this one, because as you can see, it acted as a good area of resistance recently. So yeah, that's why we'll be very cautious near this 21-day EMA. However, still the downside is not off the table, but I will consider that idea if we get a drop below the 92.24 level. Gold is very interesting. Of course, now given that DXY kind of pushed a little bit to the upside, gold got weaker. However, again, it will be very interesting to see where DXY moves, and if it moves higher, then well, gold could start drifting lower. And as you can see, previously I talked about this commodity, and I was saying that I will look at lower areas if we get a move up. If we get a move below this 1860 territory, and ideally I would like to see that daily candle remaining below it. So also, of course, to kind of support the bearishness here is the fact that we could be seeing here a possible bearish flag. And the fact that the commodity failed to move above the 21-day EMA, is now trading below the 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line. So in a way, kind of everything's leaning a little bit more towards the downside. However, guys, be very careful. We need that confirmation break, and ideally that daily candle staying below this 1860 zone in order to aim for some lower, in order to aim for some lower areas, like for example the 1848 mark right here, or the 1818 level somewhere around here. Of course, slightly below that we do have the 200-day EMA as well, but again, let's be very careful for now. Let's not rush into anything yet, but it seems that there could be possibility for a good move lower here, but we need that confirmation break first. WTI oil, now again, this is a little bit messy, I would say. I mean, it continues to move around here near this 41.46 territory. I talked about this, and basically for now, guys, it's a bit of a tricky one. And if you remember yesterday, I talked about this little hurdle right here, the 42.08 level. Yes, we could continue looking at that one. However, it becomes a little bit very tentative, and to be honest, probably I need to scrap this idea here of waiting for a push above the 42.08 level, because again, you can see that yesterday, for example, we had an overshoot, but we violated this area, but then the price kind of drifted back down closer to this 41.46 territory. What I can do here is, of course, we need to go with the most recent high and the recent low. So here, for example, I'll pick up on this 42.44 level, which is yesterday's high, and just to be a little bit on the safe side, in order to aim for some higher levels, a break above that area could do the trick for more buyers. So that's why be very careful here, guys, and keep your eyes on this little area. Certainly, don't get me wrong, we're still a little bit more positive than negative on this one, because we're still hanging above this 41.46 level here, and in a way the kind of the commodity seems to be showing willingness to move higher. But if by any chance the commodity drops below the 40.12 territory right here, now that's where we could maybe consider a bit of a larger correction to the downside. Bitcoin Cash, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but yep, it's quite interesting, I would say, because unlike Bitcoin, which is rallying, Bitcoin Cash is on the very modest side, I would say, and it's struggling to move higher. And for now, it's basically, instead of that, it's kind of trading near this upside support line taken from the low of the 23rd of September, increasing its chances for a possible break. I mean, of course, the break has not happened yet, but again, something to keep in mind. And if we get a break of this upside line, and then we see a drop below the 237.70 territory right here, marked by the low of the 20th of October, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for more sellers. However, still we have an obstacle here, which is the current lowest point of November near the 230.90 level. But if that gets broken, now guess what? I mean, this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines are possible. However, all that is in the scenario if we get a break of this upside line. If we don't, if this continues to provide good support, then yes, we could aim for some higher levels. However, I mean, with the upside, it's also a little bit tricky here, so we could try to draw something like this one here. Yes, it could be an interesting option here. So basically, if it breaks this downside line, then yep, it could increase the chances, its own chances, kind of to drift higher. However, if you're looking for something more let's say more, not confident, I would say, but more reassuring, then wait for a push maybe above this little area of resistance between the 278.70 and the 280.80 levels, and then yep, this could in a way then attract more buyers, because all this area here could be forming just this nice ascending triangle here. I mean, potentially, of course, I mean, this is not confirmed yet, because again, we would need to see a move higher, maybe a rejection here, and then a move drop lower, and then another third push to the upside here, or a third or fourth, depends how you're looking at this little peak. But nevertheless, this is the hurdle, this is the area that I'm keeping an eye on. I'm gonna be very, very conservative on this one, and to be honest, I mean, I'm gonna just observe and wait for maybe a push above this highlighted area first in order to aim for some higher levels, because all this could be a little bit tricky. I mean, you could try to squeeze something out of it if it breaks this little short-term downside line taken from the high of the 8th of November. However, we could get a false breakout or something like that, and then it could basically it could reverse sharply back down. So that's why all this area right here will be a bit of a neutral one for me. AUDUSD. So AUDUSD, let me just actually quickly double check the economic calendar, because I think that there we do have some data. So first of all, Australia today released its employment numbers. So unemployment came out much better, employment change coming out much better, full employment change and participation rates both came out much better. So basically all good news from Australia. However, as you can see here on AUDUSD, it's still it didn't really react much, and to be honest, it seems that this pair might continue reacting mainly to the market situation and the whole Corona situation as well, and if there will be any trade disputes between the U.S. and China again. So yeah, that's why for now, look at this from maybe from the more technical side. As you can see, for now, the pair continues to, after it kind of climbed above this hurdle, this 0.7289 level right here. I talked about this one, and it climbed above it, and now it's basically trading here above this hurdle still. It did try to move below this a few times, but yep, as you can see, it's kind of failing to do so. So basically, as long as it remains above this area, there is still a good chance for this one to move higher. However, if you're a little bit more cautious, you can see that recently the pair got held here near this key resistance area. Let me just grab this one right here. So this resistance area roughly between the 0.7335 and the 0.7345 levels. So if you want to be a little bit more careful and cautious, then probably you could wait maybe for a push above that area and then aim for some higher levels, just to be, like I said, on the safe side. So let me just probably highlight this for you guys, just for our future reference. So basically, if that gets pushed, if the pair gets pushed above this area, then yes, we'll aim for some higher levels. If the pair starts dropping, now previously I talked about this level right here, the 0.7244 mark, 44, 45. Now probably I'll take a bit of a careful approach here and wait for a drop below the low of last week, which is around the 0.7222 level, approximately around here. At the same time, if we get a drop below this area, then we could see the rate dropping below the 21-day EMA, shown here as the yellow line, and then maybe more sellers could see this as a good opportunity to step in. So that's why be very careful on that one. Now, USDCHF. This was a quite interesting one. I talked about this pair recently. Basically, the same analysis remains valid. Because the pair is still struggling with this downside line here, taken from the high of the 28th of September. It moved lower initially, but as you can see, it's finding very good support near this 0.9090 level, so approximately around here. For now, what we can do here is probably wait, because what I would like to see for the upside, of course, a break of this downside line and a push above the 0.92 territory right here. And this way, the rate would also be placed above the 100-day EMA, and maybe more buyers could see this as a good opportunity to step in. So that's why be very careful. However, if it drops below the 0.9090 level here, yes, I'll aim for some lower areas, but I'm going to be very careful because it might drift lower. It might test, let me just grab this arrow here. So it might drift lower here if it drops below the 0.9090 territory, but it could get a hold up near this area, near the low, the lowest point of October, which is around the 0.903031 zone. And now then, this is where the interesting bit could start, because basically what could happen is a nice rebound back up here, because as you can see, we could be getting ourselves a possible inverted head and shoulders pattern. So here, so with the right shoulder being around here near the 0.9031 territory, 3031, approximately around there. So that's why, in a way, for now, be very careful. Again, don't get me wrong, this is where the tricky bit kind of starts, because on one hand, yes, we could see this one as a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern. We'll consider this idea if we get a drop below this 0.9090 level. However, if it doesn't drop lower here, then what we could see here is maybe a bit of a weird bullish flag here, I would say. So that's why it's a little bit tricky here. But even if it is a bullish flag, still the more comfortable level after a break of which you could aim for some higher levels could come here on this 0.92 territory. So a break above that could open the door towards higher levels. Quick update on GBPUSD. To be honest, not much to talk about here, because yesterday I talked, I've looked at this one, and basically I was saying that in order to aim for some higher levels, we need that daily candle staying above the 1.3287 territory, because we keep getting these little overshoots, but we don't really get that nice daily candle staying above this area. Also now, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, you could keep an eye on this barrier, the 1.3313. But again, overall, probably on average, you can keep an eye on that 1.33 territory in general. If we get a nice push above that, then yep, higher levels here could be met, and we could then start aiming for the highest point of September near the 1.3483 territory. EURCHF, also quick update. I've looked at this one a few videos ago, and basically the pair continues to kind of form this potential bullish flag here, a very clear one, I would say, a very technical, very beautiful one according to all the TA rules and according to all the textbooks. So basically, yep, that's what I'm going to continue kind of observing here. In a way, what we could do is basically we need to wait for either a drop below the 1.0782 territory in order to consider some lower areas, because don't forget that we're still trading above this upside support line taken from the low the 2nd of November, or we need to see a pop above this 1.0825 territory even in order to aim for some higher levels. But then also don't forget that we're still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 5th of June. So basically a lot of obstacles here. So this bullish flag might not work out just because of these two lines, but again, let's see how this is going to play out. Nevertheless, these two levels that I'm keeping an eye on for now in order to kind of consider the next directional move. Now Euro TRY, here the pair, one of my favorite ones, and it fails to move above this, or should I say fails to stay above this 9.2050 territory again. So for now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to still continue monitoring this area. If this gets pushed above it, then yes, I will aim for some upside, but again, I'll consider this idea first. However, if it doesn't move above this 9.2050 territory, then I'm going to keep an eye on that psychological 9 zone, because if that gets broken, now this will confirm a forthcoming low, and yep, further declines are possible. And finally, EURUSD. So once again, we had a failed move above this, or failed attempt to stay above this 1.1880 zone, the upper bound of the range, and the pair kind of declined a little bit. However, we're not really gonna aim for lower areas yet until we get at least a move below the 1.1795 territory right here, because at the same time the pair would be placed below the 21-day EMA, and then maybe more sellers could join in. So basically the same analysis remains, guys. I'm not changing anything yet, so we need to see a nice daily candle staying above the 1.1880 zone in order to aim for some higher levels, and I would like to see a strong move below the 1.1795 territory in order to consider the downside. So keep your eyes on that one. So guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you very much for joining in. Like I said, I hope you found it useful. And yep, if you want to catch my video later on, my traders tea time, 14:15 GMT. So yeah, have a wonderful trading day, guys. Stay safe, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. So see you later.